Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are joining across the globe, to all the viewers and all our fans of Football Pundits podcast. So we've had a very exciting round of quarterfinals, and some happy pundits over here, some still skeptical pundits. So let's see what our pundits have to say about this round of fixtures. And before we move forward, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our videos, and do remember to follow us on our social media handles. So let's start with Czech Republic and Denmark. Kshitij, what were your thoughts on that specifically?
So Czech Republic and Denmark. That was a game that I was expecting because there were two teams that were playing with their heart instead of the type quality of players. Denmark, like what a journey they have had, right? Because they lost their main player, the player that they actually built the entire team around on the first game, Christian Eriksen. But since then, Denmark has fought so hard. They scored 4 goals against Russia on the last day of the qualification to actually make it to the last 16, and now they are just 2 games away from going into the promised land. So Denmark was playing with the wing back. They had a back five when they were defending, and back three when they were actually going forward. Their wing backs were actually providing quite a lot of width. But what actually hurt Czech Republic was the kind of goals that they conceded. So the first goal they conceded was just in 5 minutes, right? Uh, it was a cross, and Thomas Delaney, he was completely unmarked in the 6 yard box, and he was able to hit home an easy goal. That was something because Czech Republic, as of now, has been quite solid with their defense because they have quite good centre backs, and they have a very combative midfield and a combative defensive line. So that kind of goal conceded was very bad for them. Then for the at least 20 minutes, it felt like every time Denmark went forward, they were going to score a goal. But Czech Republic were actually able to weather that storm and slowly started to grow into the game. Like after the 20th minute or that point, they were having a lot more possession of the ball. They're actually attacking a lot more. They were getting the likes of Suchek involved. They were getting the likes of Kufal, the left backs, right backs involved into the game, and they were actually pushing the Danish teams on the back foot at that time. But what actually was the sucker punch was for them was the brilliant cross from the outside of the foot that was actually scored by, if I remember his name correctly, but that was on the 42nd minute. So that was actually the sucker punch for the Czech side. Uh, so okay, so huh. Eh, other than that, so the first half went off. They were 2-0 down the Czech Republic. It was like the game was done and dusted. But what happened was the Czech coach made a couple of changes at halftime, and the game turned around completely. Like when they came out after the halftime, they came out with all their traps, and they were on the attack on the front foot from the very start. Their goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel, made a couple of good saves uh, in the very beginning. But then Patrick Schick, who is actually one of the best players of this tournament, actually was able to get them back across from Sufal that he was able to tuck in. But after that, you can see the heat of Azerbaijan, the uh, toll that these games have had on the players, because after 70 minutes the entire pitch looked like they were running on empty. So the Danish team was somehow able to cross the line, and now they are just a couple of games away from lifting the Euro title. They face England next. Hopefully they lose in that game. I think
That's where the fairy tale ends.
yeah, I think Anshuman would tell a lot more about that. But it's been a hell of a journey for those guys, and it's been a hell of a journey for Czech Republic as well, because they really put their heart, soul. A couple of players actually were playing with head bandages in the game, so it was a great game.
And last time it was Croatia who ended the dream run for England. This time it could be Denmark. So we'll probably get to that.
These
Yeah,
Euro players have
moving.
these sorry
Sorry.
sorry to say, but these Euro players have so difficult names that it's very troubling to pronounce them. Like I was trying to pronounce
Yeah.
the name of the guy, and I even wrote it down, but I cannot pronounce his name. So sorry about that.
So yeah, I mean, moving on to the next match. Obviously, let's talk about the team who actually knocked out the current world champions, the World Cup winners, and obviously the team who is growing with confidence in each match. Obviously, it's Spain versus Switzerland. So when we talk about that match, obviously there is one guy we'll obviously we do a lot of focus on is Jan Sommer, because he was the one who was very instrumental throughout the match and was outshining again against anybody who was playing in that match. Even though we have had a few interesting moments in the match. So coming back to the match, Rishabh, what did you think? I mean, did Spain play well, and are they like well prepared to go up against Italy in the next match?
I mean, I don't know if they're well prepared to go, head to head against Italy, but I think they've had a very inconsistent tournament, to be very honest. Like, I think they were so dominant against Poland, and I can't remember the first match they played against, but the team, they were so dominant, but they still scored only one goal. And, again, then the last match when they played against Slovakia and then, Croatia, they were able to score 5 goals in that, like, both those matches. So they've been very inconsistent. And, even before they went into the penalty shootout, I think everyone was aware that they had missed their previous 2 penalty spots. Then when Busquets missed the spot, everyone was like, oh yeah, this is again Switzerland probably going to knock out another, previous European championship or a World Cup champion. So things started to go, against them. But obviously, Unai Simon, who made probably the worst howler of the entire tournament, he came and maybe Anshuman will disagree with me based on like what Dubravka did against Spain. So, so I don't know, but like yeah, Unai Simon, like he definitely saved the day. And also, there's one more stat that I'd like to point out is that the last time that they played against Switzerland, Spain played against Switzerland in the Nations League. That time also, Sommer saved Ramos's 2 penalties in that game. So I mean, that those things, obviously started coming out when Busquets missed the penalty. But Switzerland was definitely very compact in their defense. Like they were able to easily. I don't think they were after obviously the red card things started to open up a lot more, and they still obviously had a little more than 45 minutes to score a goal, but Spain couldn't find the goal. And I did not see any clear cut chance that they had. I think Sommer was definitely, as we talked about, like he was definitely brilliant in that game. Saved so many, made so many vital saves. In terms of Spain, obviously, and I think I've already spoken about this in the previous podcast as well, but they're slowly moving away from their tiki taka system and slowly starting to go into that free flowing attacking football based on what the players have. So coming into the Italy game, it's definitely very difficult to predict because Italy themselves are also very attacking. So you might see a 1-0 game in which either team, whoever gets the best chance, they might go ahead, or you might see again a 3-all 4-all game. You don't know that because Italy definitely, I think Saurav will point out more on Italy's game, but they've been definitely more either they've been definitely been very free flowing in their game. So coming into that game, I don't really know. I'm going to go for an Italy win, but let's see what happens.
But do you think like Switzerland was specifically missing Xhaka from the lineup because he was suspended from this match?
I mean, it definitely ponders, right, that there's a big player who was so vital in their previous win against France that he was missing. And I feel like I told in the last podcast as well, like Xhaka should not go anywhere, other than like this summer, this transfer window from Arsenal. But he had such a terrific game that I mean, obviously you look at that game and you feel like, yeah, maybe if Zaka was there, things would have pounded out, faded out differently in that game. Because as I said, like, Spain had the chances, but it's not like Italy did not have their chances. Obviously, Spain scored that own goal again with Zakaria. I think that goal went in. So it's not like that. It's not like Italy. Switzerland did not have their chances. So you feel like he was the main orchestrator in that in that midfield and the central defense. So things would have been very different. You don't know, but yeah. And in terms of like the energy and the what do you call this? The
Passion,
thing
the
that he
drive,
brings, the thing that the thing that he brings, Zaka would
leadership.
bring
The
in that
leadership, the
team.
composure, yeah, the
Leadership, sorry,
aggression, yeah.
leadership, exactly. Sorry, I forgot the word, but leadership, like the leadership that he brings into the team, definitely, that's missing. And I still think like Shakiri definitely is the main player of that team as well. But he's definitely not been in the bestest of forms in the recent times. So definitely that shows in his game and in the team leadership as
Plus, he's a 70-minute player only. He can do
well. That
magic things
that as
only
well.
in 70
Yes.
minutes. After that, yeah, he cannot do anything.
Yeah, that as well.
So now that we have the views on obviously on Spain, now let's move to obviously the world number ones who've been knocked out, and world number ones who've never won anything and still called world number ones. So let's talk about Italy and Belgium, who it was probably where we'll focus more on Italy, or based on their 32 unbeaten game streak, and only conceding two goals in the last 12, 13 matches. So that's something pretty exciting to cover about it. What did you think, Saurabh, on that match? I think Italy was particularly very dominant throughout the match, and I think I didn't see a lot of Belgium attack in the match itself. I mean, they were pretty much on the back foot from the minute get go.
Yeah. So,
Um, I
so
would just like to take a cheap shot on Indian cricket team here because they do the same thing. They bring Bangladesh and Sri Lanka onto their own backyard, win those games, and become the world number one cricket team. And when it comes to the biggest tournaments, they
I
capitulate.
think we can have a fight about this.
Yeah,
Like
but
literally, I can have a fight
Hey,
about this with
Look,
you.
our
Saurabh,
viewership is
Saurabh was literally wearing gloves just to start
look
the
our,
fight.
our
would
viewers.
have
I
come
A lot
could
up,
of
see
our
it
but
in his face.
to all the viewers, a lot of our viewers are from India. We do not want to lose those viewership. Don't You can maybe cancel. We'll cancel Kshitij over here who for giving all these kind of statements. So I mean, yeah, let's move to the match now and cover an analysis on that part.
Yeah. First, I would like to start off with like the Red Devil golden generation of Belgium. I don't think we can all see that they have not done anything, and I don't see them doing anything else with this so-called golden generation. Also, if especially on the defense side, if they plan to go with the same defense into the next year's World Cup, they are not going to win anything, not even go through the round of 16 stages. Also, I don't think so. The attack is still there, and I think next year would be the last tournament for them. But talking about the match, I think for me also, and for the Belgium team also, I can speak, and I think that they were taken aback by how Italy approached the game in the first half. In the previous game that I've seen from Italy, they do attack, but not so much. The way they have been attacking throughout the first half was actually very instrumental and laid the platform for them in the first half itself for the entire match, because they totally rely on their defense that is there. First, they have one or two goal advantage in the hand. They could have easily defended that was there. Starting off with Barella's goal, I was not much sure about Barella being there in the team, but again, I was proven wrong by and no, the footwork that he showed for the first goal, and sliding that ball into the bottom corner after passing two defenders in the box itself was pretty impressive. And what was more even impressive was the wonderful color that we got to see from Insignia after the short run that he made from the midline, halfway line actually. And the game was done and dusted at that point itself. I was not expecting anything. I was expecting that it would be just Italy sitting back throughout the whole game. But just before the halftime whistle, it was Di Lorenzo. I think, yeah, it was Di Lorenzo who made a tackle on Doku, and there you go. You had a penalty, which was converted by Lukaku, and I don't know why, but he shouldn't have shushed Donnarumma. I think that pumped him up, and he was able to make some crucial saves. Especially one De Bruyne. One of the strikes that De Bruyne had, I think that was the one that was going in. I don't know how Donnarumma was able to make the save there, but I the second half was more interesting in the sense that it was a fight between defense and attack. Belgium were trying to attack more, and throughout the match, I should mention that one player that stood out for me was Bonucci. He was so calm throughout the match, laughing throughout the whole game, as if he's facing a very normal team. It was not like they were facing the world number one. He was very calm, and even at the age of 36, to have that composure to fight against those top class players and be able to defend was something that one should applaud definitely. Um, yeah, for me, I think Bonucci was the standout performer, and yeah, the partnership with Chiellini is always there. One thing that is going to hurt Italy going into the next round is the injury to Spinazzola. Throughout the Euros, we have seen there has been a wonderful partnership between on the left flank between Spinazzola and Insigne. I honestly, throughout the game, I think there were two chances where I believe that Spinazzola could have scored a goal. It was either a save and a ball that went high, but the other one was a save by Courtois. But that partnership has been very influential throughout the Euros, and they are definitely going to miss. Given that Spinazzola has suffered as an Achilles injury, and he'll be out for
Achilles
another
tendon,
year or so.
Yeah. So very
So
hard to
Achilles
say.
tendon.
I don't know what are the options apart
Yeah,
from
I think they just have Emerson
they have
as an
Emerson.
option.
Emerson is good going forward, but in one-on-one cases, I don't think he is very good. Uh, as far as I
Yeah.
see Emerson, so he's not very good in one-on-one situations. That will be a thing to see, and I think Spain would be able, if Spain are able to exploit that part of the game of Italy. They might have a chance. Otherwise, Italy are for sure definitely going to the finals for me. And probably I'm making a prediction which I said earlier that I wouldn't, but I think Italy might be the winners. So let's see if I've jinxed it already and they get knocked out in the semi-final stage only.
Well,
You know,
one of our pundits actually predicted Italy as our winners. So
Yeah.
let's. That was definitely not expected that one of us will be picking Italy as the dark horses to run riot throughout the tournament. But yeah, Rishabh, you were saying something.
no, I mean, I was just going to ask a question to all of you. Like, can do we really all feel that the golden generation is over for Belgium, or do we still feel that it has a couple of more years to give?
Yeah, well, you have the next year World Cup, so I mean, we can maybe pass on our judgment after that tournament. But yeah, I mean, I do not see them doing like performing any better than they have been doing in the past few tournaments. I mean, they've had a good run.
Yeah, I
The
think their engine has run out of steam completely.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, we know that they have good attackers, but the thing is that they will run out of defenders who will be able to perform week in week out, maybe, in or in the international stage, because we've not heard like of any new upcoming talent in the defensive in the defensive talent itself right now. I mean, we know that like Doku is a new upcoming player who's definitely
Yeah.
going to be, I think, very influential in their attacking and be a very creative midfielder and learn from the likes of KDB and Hazard probably. But yeah, I mean, I guess defense is something which is still a very big much of a worry for Belgium going forward in their international team.
Yeah, and
But
that
how are
I just
how?
read a statement on that Doku thing that Jurgen Klopp has apparently said to Doku that he might be a successor for Sadio Mane at Liverpool in 2016 or 17. It was 3-4 years back, but yeah, he was actually able to spot the talent very early on. So that is very
Yeah.
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, like, how do we rate? I just want to get that a question answered. Like, how do we rate Belgium's golden generation? Like, because of all the stuff
maybe
that we've talked about since
maybe we can
since
have a proper separate video about that, and if the fans would like, or the viewers would like us to cover that topic and see what actually Belgium has struggled so far with, or why they've been absent in the big matches or in the big knockout matches usually, and players
Yeah.
like Lukaku who usually never perform in the big matches, who've been, I mean, Lukaku for the specifically in those matches. I mean, even in Italy, I mean, against Italy, he had a couple of chances which he could have scored, but all he converted was the penalty. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there are a few question marks over their attack as well. So I mean, let's see if the viewers would like us to take on that topic, we'll definitely cover that and give us our thoughts on that specifically. So I mean, moving on to the obviously the blockbuster discussion of bringing it home. We need to cover. Obviously, we have to talk about Southgate's tactics and his team selection. Obviously, with Sancho signing confirmed with United, he is in the starting lineup. So
as I
I mean
said as I said before.
so yeah. I mean, pointing that out specifically. So yeah. Let's bring it to our England supporter over here and see what his thoughts are on that. Anshuman.
Yeah, so before I start, I'm just gonna say one line. It's coming home, of course. So
Oh, what did he
now,
say? It's not coming home. What did he say?
no, no,
It's
no.
not coming.
It's coming home. It's coming home. It has been coming home. Now it is becoming a reality. The people, the skeptic people like you all, now you can see the greatness of Gareth Southgate.
No problem.
Okay,
No.
all jokes aside, all jokes
Three more
aside.
days
I
to
mean,
go.
it was a very like a statement win, and I mean, I cannot say that much praise for England because again, I could see that there was not much challenge given to them from the defensive perspective. I mean, they have been strong, and now you cannot deny the fact that they have 5 clean sheets. Of course, they have faced lesser teams, but again, keeping clean sheets in international stages, it's always a difficult task. We have seen it, big teams leaking goals. So I think the formation that Southgate did for this game, switching from 3-4-3 to 4-2-3-1, a very traditional formation, but it allowed the fullbacks to play more naturally because they already had wingers who were playing inside forwards, which which allowed Luke Shaw to get ahead a lot, which allowed Sterling to get inside because he already had a backing of Luke Shaw. And I think this formation also allowed the inclusion of Mason Mount, actually helping Kane to stay in the box rather than always shifting to the deeper positions. I think putting Mason Mount in that deeper role allowed Kane to always be the fox in the box, always stay proactive. And I think we saw it in the first 6 minutes how proactive that was for Kane to be at the right moment, to be the proper number 9, to play on the shoulders of the defenders. And I think after that also, I my fear was, and also I think we were talking about that, then right now after scoring that one goal they would sit back.
Hmm.
But I think inadvertently that actually helped England gain more stamina for the second half. I think the laid back approach that they had, because I believe they always felt safe for the entirety of 90 minutes. I don't think at any point of time they were panicking or they thought that we might go down. I think they were always controlled. They were always in control of their game. They were letting Ukraine play with their own pace rather than like playing behind the Ukraine strikers. And also, I think a lot of mistakes were done by Ukraine. I think Andrei Shivchenko did not do a good man management in the game. I think there were a lot of chances where Ukraine could have shifted the table, could have played a more attacking role. I think the formation that they put in was, I think, 3-4-3, but it also shifted from to 5-3-3 at one point of time. And I think they only had one game plan to defend in numbers and play with counterattacks. And and I think the overabundance or the over dependency to Yarmolenko, I think that also caused a lot of problems to Ukraine, which resulted in a lot of players, they were not playing naturally. I mean, they were always focused on creating the balls to Yarmolenko, and Yarmolenko was not playing that good. So I think that game plan went out of the window in the first 6 minutes. And I think again, it was a very professional football play. I think Sterling was running circles around that right back, and even Jadon Sancho, he never had that much difficulty. He was playing his natural game. Of course, he could not show his entire talent. It comes down playing the first game in Euros, but whatever he did, he kept those two flanks very busy, and I think that caused a lot of issues for Ukraine. And in the end, those two assists from Luke Shaw, then that assist from Sterling, even Henderson coming back into the mix and getting this goal. So I think it was a very well-rounded performance that gives a huge boost, enormous boost to Southgate, his confidence, because now I think the criticisms are lying down, so he's more well versed with this particular team. And seeing the last 5 games, the one thing that I actually understood is why his inclusion of Grealish is not at the start of the game, because I think the inclusion of Grealish makes Luke Shaw play a more defensive role, because Grealish is an winger. He is a more creative playmaker at that left side field. But Sterling is an inside forward. He likes to get in, which allows Luke Shaw to take those positions and build out those high balls, which are accurate to the point. That comes down to the player's personal skill. But also, I think this is the kind of formation I think Gareth Southgate is now very confident about. Now, I am very confident about seeing Harry Kane getting that confidence back, because that was the only thing that was lacking in that attack formation, of Harry Kane not becoming that peripheral figure of attack force. But now, after the last 2 games, we can see that the body language has changed. Harry Kane has become more proactive, and I think he now knows that just has to stay in the box, and he's going to get the balls either from the center positions or even from the wings. So I would say it was an all-round performance, and I'm very confident going ahead with Denmark. And I can see that the Denmark fairy tale is going to end now, unfortunately. But yes.
So I just have a few questions here. I'm not going to barrage, Southgate and his tactics, because definitely, we've been all, very vocal about it in our podcast as well. Like, what the hell is he doing? But he's definitely like, I in myself cannot, tell him that you're not doing a great job, because I think he did a great job against Germany, switching to a back three, and then he played against.
And I think after the performance, he has the right. He has the right to do whatever changes he needs.
But the thing is that yes, England played well. England won against Germany. Yes, England played well against Ukraine. England won against Ukraine. I still feel that the teams that they have gotten yet, they are not the quality that we can still say that England are actually outright favorite to win. Okay. Yes, we have already talked about like the minimum that we expect now of England is to get to the finals, right? Even Ukraine, there was one goal I saw that was from an open play, which was the Kane header. Everything else, not even a header, sorry. Yeah, but everything else was a set piece, right? The Kane header, the Maguire header, and the Henderson header, right? Everything was from a set piece. So and Ukraine, we all know they don't have like a very solid defense, or they have like tall players who can block these things. England, I think, don't have not scored one set piece goal in the entire tournament up until this game, right? So we do need to talk about. I don't think, at least I don't think that they are going to get these kind of chances against Vestergaard, Kajar, and Christensen, who are the back three of Denmark's back three of Denmark, right? So it's very hard for me to still say that, and the thing is that we saw that against the last time that they played against the World Cup. Like they defeated Colombia, and everyone started talking about like, oh, this is the minimum that we expect now is the finals. They won against Sweden, and then they literally just blew out against Croatia. And again, I was going to come back to Croatia, because in the first game, Croatia were not Croatia that we saw. Croatia, we saw like we talked about Croatia and said that this is not the team that we saw, and probably they're over and all that stuff. But I think that after that game, we saw that we saw that the Croatia was actually a team. Like if they had played probably the second or third game against England, we would have probably seen a different result. So I don't know. I don't know really if I'm really confident about England right now.
But then I completely understand your point, and there is high chance that Denmark even can knock out England. I mean, the game plans always go out of the window. The upsets we have already seen. So it's not like I'm well confident about it. But the thing is, you also have to, even if England are not scoring those goals from the open plays, or even if they are just scoring one or two goals to end the game, I think we have to give some credit to the defense because they are so strong and they have such a balance between shifting to an higher line and staying and making the offside traps even possible. Because making an attacker feel like they have a chance of uh, passing through a defender, but then at the same point you realize that that striker is offside. I think that is a defensive mental game that they have to play, and I think throughout the games, it's and I'm not talking about the individual players because it is subjective. They can be bad at a particular game or they can be good at a particular. So I'm just talking about the congestive defensive structure or that unit of defense, because just playing those 5 games, keeping those clean sheets, even if it's a new tournament or a new build team, it makes you understand where you are improving and how strong you are becoming. So I think your point could. I'm not saying it can happen. Even Dolberg is like on a very brilliant form right now. He has a huge chance of like beating the pace of John Stones and Harry Maguire. Very easy. But again, I believe that because we have Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips, and they are doing such a brilliant role in defensive midfield, I think they are very strong in defense, and I think they will be very secure. Even if Denmark scores a goal, I think they will be very safe and sound, and just keeping the composure, they will get the results.
Yeah, I well said, well put. Yeah, I think, but even though I sorry, one more thing that I'll add is that
No,
even
complete.
though
Yeah,
we're not supposed to add, we're not supposed to do any predictions from what we saw previously. So we're basically blocking any predictions on our
yeah,
podcast. But
yeah.
there is a viewer who's asked something, so I definitely try to get your opinions on that.
I believe it's gonna be 2-0 win to England.
2-0 to England. Okay.
I'm gonna say it's gonna go out to the
I'm
umpire
just
and
keeping those clean sheets on tap.
I'm gonna
Realistically, yeah.
I'm gonna say it's
Otherwise,
gonna
it
go
could be
down to the
2-1.
penalties.
But I see
I'm gonna
England going.
I'm gonna say it's gonna go down to the penalties. England still go through, but this will be a very tricky fixture for them.
No, I don't
I,
believe
I,
so.
yeah, I also think that it will go to the penalties, but penalties has been in favor of England very in recent times. So I probably say an England win. In
Look,
England win, yeah, yeah,
I'll say that. I mean, Southgate has been very brilliant with his tactics and his team selection so far. He knew probably that that Ukraine would struggle with the set pieces, and that's why they were able to score 3 out of the 4 goals in the set pieces against Ukraine. So yeah, I mean, I mean, I think he will be able to extract all the weaknesses which Denmark have shown so far in the competition. So I think, yeah, that's what I think. I mean, I think England have a good chance against Denmark. I think 2-0 is a fairly decent line score line for them to replicate, I guess.
Same for me, 2-0. I see England going forward to the finals. Not I am though.
We'll come back again. We'll come back again.
Yeah,
We'll come back again
that
when.
is there to
Yeah.
discuss later. I just wanted to include that, but yeah, okay.
okay,
Yeah, I mean, let's see. I mean, we have the match in a couple of days with the first match between Italy and Spain. So let's see what's going to happen. To all the fans from Brazil, do not forget I've forgotten you. I'm here supporting Brazil for Copa America. So do not forget we are not watching you guys. We are watching you and we are supporting you guys. So yeah, let's wrap up the discussion over here. Thank you so much to everyone for joining in and watching the podcast. Thanks to all the pundits who gave their esteemed opinions and their valuable insights on the matches. So thank you, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our videos, and obviously follow us on our social media handles to follow any of the banters which we've had in the recent past. So please keep following, and thank you so much, and good night, guys.